Okay, you described for us a doctor who was in the forefront of changing the opinions of the country, the feelings of the country, the beliefs of the country, and the laws of the country. And he used deceptive methods that he told you he eventually rejected. But that came from an event in his life. Something provoked a change in the way he saw this question.
Mm-hmm.
What was that event?
Yeah, the event was the invention of real-time ultrasound. And this is the part of the story that, I think if Americans really understood this, that so many more people would have a change of heart. In 1973, January, we got the Roe v. Wade decision, which he celebrated. And then he had quit running the largest abortion facility in America, in New York City. He was personally responsible for the death of 75,000 babies himself. And he went to become the chief of obstetrics at St. Luke's Hospital in New York City. And about 6 months or so into this job, the hospital rolled in a brand new technology called real-time ultrasound. And his quote to me was, he said, "Terry, real-time ultrasound was the bomb. It made everything come alive." So he saw the baby yawning and wiggling her toes and stretching, doing all those things babies do in the womb. And the father of America's industry of abortion begins to bond with the baby. And this process began immediately. It's not like he had to look at hundreds of ultrasound videos, images. It began immediately. He could no longer deny the humanity of the baby in the womb. And what his wife had said was that he told her he had to be intellectually honest with himself. And this is part of the challenge for every American or anybody on the pro-abortion side of this issue. If the father of America's industry of abortion had to be intellectually honest with himself, why can we all not be intellectually honest with ourselves? If he can change and figure out a better way, why can't we all?
So what you have described is a turning point in his life where the forgotten factor, the embryo, the growing baby, was suddenly visible to him.
Yeah.
And in a way, it's been forgotten by everybody, but each of us knows that we were once babies, we were once in the womb, and we celebrate this with great joy when you learn that you're going to have a baby. So for Dr. Nathanson, as he turned from a distorted picture where his concern for the woman ignored entirely the concern for the baby, he suddenly had a more balanced view of the situation, and he turned against what he had been proposing before. How did this affect his life?
Greatly. So from 1973, midway through 1973, to the second anniversary of Roe v. Wade, he pleaded with NARAL board of directors that real-time ultrasound, the science of real-time ultrasound, had revealed that they had a medical, moral, ethical issue on their hands. And he begged them to change their position. He said, like a good Stalinist organization, NARAL had gotten what they wanted through lies and propaganda, and they had absolutely no intention of changing their position. So Dr. Nathanson went for the remainder of the this would be in the 1980s. 1984, he made the video Silent Scream, which revealed what the baby's going through during a first trimester abortion. The reality of what he saw was it caused him to become many suicidal thoughts for the second half of the 1980s. He was suicidal. He went back to a rabbi, couldn't figure out solutions there. He tried all sorts of different things. And he was very, very sad, and he did not know what to do. He wrote about it, and he said he would wake up at 4 or 5 in the morning in sweats, dreaming that he would be standing in front of a court, and he was praying that he would be acquitted. Not praying, but thinking, hoping he would be acquitted. And then his path crossed with a Catholic priest. And that's when he began to get answers.
And who was that Catholic priest?
The Catholic priest was Father C. John McCloskey, and Dr. Nathanson described him as like a knight in shining armor who came into his life at the perfect time, because Nathanson had no clue what to do with all this grief, all the shame, all the regret. And I think it's important to state this. I said 75,000 babies. He personally aborted 5,000 babies with his own hands. He trained doctors how to perform abortions on 10,000 babies. And then when he ran the largest abortion facility, that was for another 60,000 babies. So that when I asked him point blank, I said, how many babies are you personally responsible for? And that's when he said 75,000.
And what did he do with this feeling of guilt? And how did he express it to Father McCloskey?
Well, he first tried drugs and alcohol and psychotherapy and all these things, but he met with Father McCloskey repeatedly. I believe it was every week. They would read the Catholic Catechism, and they would read the great classics together. They were both avid readers, very scholarly. And Dr. Nathanson said somewhere in that 5-6 year period, he stopped contemplating suicide, and he realized he was contemplating the love and mercy of Jesus Christ.
And what did Dr. Nathanson decide after these many months, actually years of conversation with Father McCloskey?
Dr. Nathanson decided that it was time to receive fully the love and mercy of Jesus Christ, and he was baptized on December 8, 1996 at St. Patrick's Cathedral in New York City. And on that day, his quote is, "Now I am a full Jew," and he received the love and mercy of Jesus Christ. And what strikes me is most Americans do not know his story. And his story is one of love and mercy, God's great love and mercy that knows no boundaries. I mean, if God can forgive the father of America's industry of abortion, imagine what God can do for the millions of women and men who have had one abortion affect their lives, 1, 2, or 3. So it's a story for our time.
What did Nathanson then do? Did he become a speaker and a writer? And what do you know about his life after his conversion?
He traveled the world, spreading the gospel of life, revealing the truth of how he deceived our country, and he shared his remorse. And he wrote another book called The Hand of God. He's the author of 3 books. The first one was 1979, Aborting America. He was 100% pro-life, but he had not become Catholic yet. Then in 1984, he wrote the Abortion Papers. And then in 1996, I believe it was right before he was baptized, he released the book, The Hand of God, which tells his journey from death to life in Christ.
And he no longer had thoughts of suicide?
No.
Hi, thank you for watching, and be sure to subscribe to our channel by clicking on that red subscribe button and click that bell so you'll be notified when we upload new content. Check out all the links below for subscriptions to Inside the Vatican magazine and to the Morning Hand Letters, which is free to your inbox. You stay connected. It's content that you can get nowhere else. All that information is below. Thank you.